Hey guys, what's up? I'm at the Tokyo train station today. I always feel like you could probably get some really epic sunsets or like a sunrise around this area. No, I've never seen one here. My most epic sunrises and sunsets have been around like Minami Osawa and stuff like that with that near that bridge. But still, I feel like there's probably some pretty cool ones that you get here sometimes. But anyway, this is the Tokyo station, and then over towards there is the Maruzen. If you like going to bookstores, it's pretty cool. And down there is the Tokyo Bakery, which has that awesome tiramisu cream pound, which is really nice. But anyway, today I want to talk about ramble a little bit to keep the YouTube, right? YouTube, that is English, the YouTube active. And that is, again, talking about to make sure that you are the best version of yourself, while you still have a chance to be the best version of yourself, right? Always try to be the best version of yourself. And, this gets into stuff I've talked about, video games and blah, blah, blah. And I've been thinking about this because of that guy's got some wheelies on. I've been thinking about this because a little bit of like, I have a friend that does kick, and he's always in all this drama and everything like that. So I'm not going to name the names to, get people in trouble, but I'm going to talk about a lot of different random things, right? Keeping the YouTube active, right? So again, look at my situation, right? I still come out here, even in Japan, and God, you see all these idols, or, well, who they promote as idols, let's say, Japanese idols, or especially, God, going to that Shinokubo, oh my God, all those Korean idols everywhere, whatever the case, but, youth is very valued, in not just any culture, but, it's plastered fucking everywhere in Japan, right? And, I still go out here, and I'm lucky enough that even though I haven't been here in a year, there's still people that remember me as Final Fantasy guy. You're a Final Fantasy guy, guys and girls. Oh, Disney Prince guy. Oh, blah, blah. They remember me, which is kind of funny because I feel like I haven't been in Japan that long, but, just for a month here, a couple months there. And, people, oh, you're a Final Fantasy guy. Oh, everybody remembers you, blah, blah, blah. Oh, Ikemen. But you got to remember, I'm old. I'm actually old, right? And, I've had girls, even while I'm here this time again, they're like, how old are you once we start talking? And I'm like, I'm probably way older than you think. I think some of the girls were like, I think one of the girls said 28. And then when I said older, she's like, wait, you're in your 30s? Are you're not over 30, are you? She's like, a 28, 30. So, I still maybe look a little bit younger than I am, let's say, right? And then that's funny because that girl was actually like, I like older guys anyway, so I don't care. But whatever, because although for what it's worth, while I'm here this time too, I'm running into that same problem that sometimes girls spill their spaghetti too much that they completely freeze up, right? But so anyway, but the point is, for how I look and how I've done what I've done, you think about my health situation, the dying stuff, all that kind of stuff, and even if you see pictures of me, working out and all that kind of stuff, you got to remember what I do nowadays to stay in shape. I would not look how I look probably, right? If I was starting from scratch at this age, right? Because a lot of this is just muscle memory, and what I'm doing to keep what I have is, maintaining, but I do so little. Right. And so what I'm trying to show right there is that my time to build the body that I have now, especially when you think about the way that my health is, right, it's already like long gone. Like if I were to start over, like, and again, you got to remember, even I'm sitting down right now, just because I'm in another country doesn't mean I'm not fatigued all the time or my health problems have gone away. But as the years have gone on, the health has gotten worse. My fatigue is only more and more. So what I'm saying is I would not have been able to achieve how I physically look if I started from scratch right now with what I'm able to do. And so hopefully you get what I'm saying by that. You need to be the best version of yourself and push yourself while you still can. And, I think about, the nerd community, stuff like that, and people just wasting their lives on video games. And especially when they're not even good at it. Let's be honest. I mean, God, we showed that combo video shit. I can't even believe all these combo guys. They've been exposed. They weren't even doing their shit for real. I guess maybe I do have good execution. I've always considered myself a creative person, not a execution dude, but maybe I am an execution dude. I don't know. But again, the video game communities, think about how crazy people are, and they're wasting their lives for this endeavor that they're not even that good at. And you only have so much time to turn your life around to be the best version of yourself, dude. Like, you don't want to start your life over at my age, right? And I say that for an example. So let's say my friend, he's trying to be a streamer, right? And he's constantly getting into fights with everybody. And for sure, I mean, I can't, I don't have his back on everything, as even I have told him that some of the stuff he does on stream, I can't be a part of with some of the way he acts, because it's, I don't want it to be associated with me, right? And I've told him that before. I'm like, you know, some of the time things that you do on stream sometimes, I'm not going to be associated with it. So if you're going to say something on a stream that is, you know, I feel disingenuous to not only your character, because I know how you actually act in real life, and if it looks on, I don't want to be associated with someone that does something that I don't like, let's say, right? That's not to say that he's totally a bad guy or something like that. As a matter of fact, I think he's actually deceptively responsible despite his actions at times. But, you know, there's certain, I mean, just to, you know, because I don't want to sound like I'm just totally biased towards him or something. There are things that he does that I do not think are correct, right? But, so he's a bit of an older guy too, right? And I feel like him trying to do the stream stuff is him having a sort of, you know, midlife crisis. That's how I armchair quarterback psychology analyze him, right? And I think of that, you know, he's trying to turn his life around, right? And, you know, this is my last chance at fame, so I'm going to go super hard with being a streamer kind of stuff, blah, 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 right? But there's another guy he's fighting with, and again, I guess a few people from his stuff might watch me, who you might know I'm talking about. There's another guy who he's fighting with who is also an older guy, older than us, right? So he's in his 40s. I think he's in his, they might have said he's 46 or something like that. I don't know, right? But at 46, and apparently this guy's, as we have a peaceful pigeon apiece. I wish we could get some albino pigeons like I've had that one time. No albino pigeons here though, but they're very peaceful. They make me laugh. I don't know. We don't have pigeons where I live, so they're kind of silly to me. They're a novelty. They don't realize how much I like chicken. You should see, I had some pigeons there just standing around me. I'm like, they have no idea how many chickens that I have killed by eating them. But anyway, so there's another guy, right, that he's fighting with a lot, and this guy, I think he's 46. If I'm wrong, you can put it in the comments, even though I'm not going to say the name. But this guy's situation is, he's lived in Japan for a long time, and he's not rich from what I understand, but he's well off, and he gets an allowance from his parents, right? And he bought his own place in Japan, and it's kind of a shit show from what I understand, but still, he has the luxury of having his own place in Japan, all that kind of stuff, living in Japan. And from what I understand, his Japanese is actually really good, so he has, you know, tried to immerse himself in the culture that way. But he, at 46, looks very old. And I met him once in real life, and I can say that I remember I saw him, he picked a cigarette off the ground and he put it in his mouth, and I'm like, dude, what are you doing? You know? And he gets in fights with this other guy that I'm talking about a lot, and I feel like it's because they're both at their sort of midlife crisis. Like, this is like, you know, you only have so much time to be the best version of yourself, to make a name for yourself, right? And again, if I'm armchair psychologist quarterbacking, when I think of these guys, I think of that guy is jealous because he's like, holy shit, I'm 46 and I look old. I didn't like take care of myself. So even though I have this luxury of being in Japan and I can speak the language well, you know, when you've seen he's gone out, he is not cool, right? And the younger kids, you know, teenagers, whatever you want to say it, you know, let's say, God, you know, I have teenagers come up to me all the time. God, there's this high school girl. She was basically crying that I didn't fuck her. It was insane, right? I mean, I was like, oh, I don't know, dude. You know what I mean? But I was in the position, you know, I'm lucky enough to be in the position where, yes, I have young girls that they want to smash, right? And I'm lucky, right? Unfortunately, lucky that I'm sick, so I don't even have the sex drive to do it half the time. But it is what it is, right? But I would assume that guy does not have those kind of circumstances where he's the cool American guy, or I think he's from Australia. Correct me if I'm wrong. And so what I mean by that, again, talking about you only have so much time to reinvent yourself, this guy, if he were to start over to try to reinvent his life, who even knows if he can do it at this point, right? If you're 46 years old, you're already on the trail end of your life, right? I know how old I am. And of course, I know I have a lot of, very serious health problems. I've been dying before. My health is still not good, still in and out of the hospital, right? I have to take constant breaks even when I'm traveling like this because I'm just so fatigued. But, I just think that it's an example of when I think of those two guys that, and again, although I don't agree with everything that my friend does, and I've even told him that I cannot be associated with you when you do certain things because I don't want to be, there's just certain things he does that I don't like, and it's disingenuous to me, right? But he still has taken care of himself and good looking enough that he gets opportunities, and I think he still has that opportunity to be cool. And I think the other guy, it probably sucks for him, you know what I mean? Because he waited too long he's like, I think he's had the opportunity, but didn't take advantage of it in a good way. Hasn't kept himself in shape, has not led a healthy lifestyle. And it just goes to show you that, you only got so much time in life, and who knows if that guy could even turn himself around. I've kind of made the joke that, like, I don't know, maybe at this point he's going to have to try to be like a buff Santa Claus or some shit like this. You know what I mean? I'm not trying to talk shit about the guy. I mean, I've only met him once, and I mean, I guess to be honest, I have had some negative experiences with him. He thinks I watch his like stream or all this. It's like, bro, I've only tuned in a couple times, so I don't know. You know what I mean? But I think that's a good example. I'm being vague here because I don't like talking shit about people too much, but hopefully you get what I'm getting at. And I think about the video game community that is so crazy about me, and it's like, look at these combo guys. Look at all these players. Like, I mean, they are old. They're old, and they've never, like, the only reason so many people, and I guess, just by saying that, maybe they have succeeded in video games is because of this nepotism kind of thing, or just, grifters towards the overly radical LGBTQ that has taken over the video game community, that hopefully, more and more they are getting exposed. So hopefully, that this so many years of this nonsense in the community will finally be like stomped out basically and put out. But you see so many people in the video game community, they would never survive on their own. And maybe you could say, who could survive on your own? Because you could make the argument that, well, Clayton, you've done more than anyone else ever has in the history of video games, for fighting games at least, right? And you can objectively look at that and you can see what I've done. No one will ever do what I've done for tech and fighting games ever again. My, list of achievements is just ridiculous. Like I said, I told the story. I realized that Dragon Ball FighterZ, no one will ever catch up to what I've done for tech and all of fighting games, right? And you could say, even though saying that, but Clayton, you're not actually famous, right? So you could say, yeah, most people probably can't succeed solo dolo on their own unless they have a little bit of a, unless they kind of, go along with a group a little bit, right? So, I guess maybe I'm kind of shooting myself in the foot with what I'm saying, but certainly there's a lot of people though that, they would never, at least I have a little bit of notoriety. Despite how many haters I have and all this kind of stuff, I've done so much stuff in video games that it can only be hidden so well. There are, what do I have, like 24,000 people on my YouTube at this point, right? Despite people saying I faked cancer and a bunch of other really crazy shit, for many years, people deleting posts from years ago to hide all the tournaments I won, but you can still see that it's there. You know what I mean? But all this stuff is, the point is, I still have a little bit of notoriety, I guess you could say, despite how many stalkers I've had from either how I look, physically, from just like catfishing stuff, or fighting games. So again, although I'm not famous or something like that, but a lot of these guys, again, I just look at, they would never be anywhere unless they were grifting off of something or this nepotism kind of stuff. And you got to remember, There is a bit of luck to that though too, because there's lots of people that, you know, try to live off of others' success, right? And there's even as much as, you know, I assume, I guess you could say evil, right? You know, people try to go in some sort of pack or whatever like that. There can only be so many famous people in the pack, right? There's only so many famous grifters in the FGC. Maybe there's bajillions of grifters. There's bajillions of people, you know, that lie. But, you know, there's no guarantee that you're going to be one of the people that becomes, oh, can we get that plane? There's no guarantee that you're going to become one of the famous people. There, look at that plane off into the clouds. There's no guarantee that you're going to become one of the famous people from lying about others, right? That's still a very select few. So, I don't know. Turn your life around while you still can so you have something to fall back on, because you don't want to end up like this one guy that I'm talking about. Like, it must suck for him, right? Because, I've seen a couple of his streams and they just seem all so hateful, and it must suck to be like, I just, again, armchair quarterback psychologist, I just feel like that guy must be like, fuck, I waited too long and I don't even know, maybe I'm too old to turn around my life, right? Does that make sense? I don't know. I'm rambling, whatever. If you like the videos, like, sub, silly, comment, share. Support the channel if you can. I appreciate it. Thanks. The end.